Youth and Commercial Culture in the 1950s.
Young Americans in the 1950s turned away from adult-promoted conformist ideas in the decade known as the Rebellion era among the youth population. Prior to and during World War II, youth had little to no influence in decisions made by anyone older than them. Before the war, education was only for a very few privileged kids. Lengthening years of education and kids staying in school led to the growing influence of youth and the emergence of the teenager. Once America had recovered from World War II, teenagers didn't have to worry about war, but could enjoy being young. They were able to express themselves and make choices for themselves, often regarded as rebellious by adults.
The teenager became a cultural phenomenon, now having more than one job and acquiring money of their own that they did not use to support their family. The teenager now had money that they could spend however they wanted. During this time, new music genres and new movies were coming out. The new music genres included rock and roll, which is very influential to young teens, and movies included horror and dangerous youth. Before the war, kids listened to what their parents did, like the reserved and harmless swing or polka. Teenagers now were able to make their own decisions, causing friction between parents and their children, especially in the case of music. Advertisers targeted this rebellious youth and their disposable income. This led to targeting the youth spending money, and this meant teens were their main audience. Many parents believed that rock and roll was only listened to because it went against the parents' morals. Parents thought that rock was corrupting their kids not only because of its sound, but because of its culture. Parents felt that this new rock and roll was corrupting their kids with its vulgarism and implications. During this era, there was a greater consumption of music and movies. The media was influenced by youth culture, and youth culture was influenced by the media. An important date to show the fear of this new youth culture was a 1958 article titled "Trend: St. Louisans Have of Rock and Roll," described a radio station banned from playing the music. Elvis Presley was an important figure during this time period because of his large influence on rock and roll and rebellious youth. Youth culture can be viewed as a reaction to the conformist consumer culture that had taken over the nation. Youth culture was experimental, unapologetic, and revolutionary.